Hi guys, Athena's here, and I am making up a formula for a client that is having digestive issues and stress, and the stress is causing the digestive issues. So I wanted to show you guys a quick tonic that you can make up that's good for about 7 to 10 years to be able to put into a medicine chest. And if you are a practitioner and you are looking further into making your own formulas, hopefully you will find this helpful. What I did, and the formula itself it's very easy if you can access the ingredients and put it together. It's time. Like it has to sit for a while, and that's like kind of the biggest issue is if you're making these, your client or your family and friends may have to wait about 8 weeks. If you're using different solvents to extract, it could be longer. So I'm going to show you the quickest way to do it. And so the main thing, because this is so simple, is to really go over like what are we using in this. And the main things we're going to start, it's digestion with stress that causes the digestive problems. So we're going to look at peppermint. So this is great for heartburn, upset stomach. It also makes things taste a little better, and it's calming to the system. And like mint tea, a lot of cultures after dinner will give you mint tea to help you digest stuff. And I think it's fantastic. The other thing that's great for digestion is papaya powder. You can find a good resource to get papaya enzyme in a powder. That's excellent for this too. If you can't access that, it's a little more exotic. Licorice root, marshmallow leaf, which also these are good for leaky gut, and they coat the inside of the digestive tract, which builds up mucus and sludge and gross stuff. We're going to talk about a little bit of gross stuff in here. And then the last item that I'm going to use is skullcap. And the reason I'm going to use skullcap is in your digestion, if you have been treated for IBS or severe like Crohn's digestive issues, besides the steroid, the thing that they like to give you is an antidepressant. They give you an antidepressant like to calm your mind down and to calm the belly down, because the belly has the same receptors in it that the brain does. So it thinks. My chakra video that's coming out soon will explain that maybe a little more. Your belly, your solar plex area thinks. It has thinking powers. It tries to like navigate and figure things out just like your brain does. Unfortunately, we get stuck there a lot, and the stress, I mean, those receptors go haywire. So they give you an antidepressant to get it back in balance. So I'm merely suggesting that we just add it to our homemade tonic, which we're going to put into a container after this is done. And then they will have all the benefits of not only something that's calming, relaxing, and helps those receptors in the belly that are like brain receptors calm down and start operating normal. Everything else that we're putting in this formula coats the upper and lower digestive tract, helps you digest your food properly. The papaya powder is definitely good for that. And to make a formula like this, I mean, all you're going to do is put a little bit in water, and that's just your tonic that you take daily or with meals. And beautiful. This works so beautifully. So this client is asking for another tonic, and I thought maybe you'd like to see how I do it. So I took an empty jar, and I did this ahead of time, is I went ahead and put my herbs in here. So we used peppermint, licorice root, marshmallow leaf, and then skullcap for relaxing the system, relaxing the nervous system, the belly, the muscles, all of that. So that, I mean, your body wants to do right by you. You came in, it was already operating just fine. And then, you know, things get in the way of that. Or maybe you came in with an issue with digestion and now you have a lifetime of needing support for that between the brain and the belly. So just suggesting that skullcap is great because it has a bit of a sedative effect. It's just going to calm you. So it's almost like an anti-anxiety a bit mixed with digestion. Oh my gosh. I mean, that kind of just solves a lot of problems for everybody. So I went ahead and just did equal parts of each herb and filled a jar. Not all the way to the top. Like I left a little bit here because the idea is I have to cover this with a solvent or an extractor of some sort. Now I'm going to use vodka and brandy because not only is it quicker, it's effective, and a lot of your over-the-counter stuff and stuff that you might be ordering, they're using that to extract. You can, however, use vinegar. So if you're dealing with, and even with the alcohol, because just a few drops in juice or water is safe for children and older people, but if it is contraindicated for them to have any kind of alcohol at all, and when I say that, I mean people that are on other medications, things like that. For children, it's a few drops. It evaporates. It's not very much at all. We need to get out of, like, Americans are all freaked out about that stuff. You go to Europe and it's not a big deal to use a little bit of alcohol to resolve an issue medicinally. So I don't want people to freak out. You can use, I like apple cider vinegar because then they get the benefit of that also, which is cleansing and helps support, you know, immunity and other things in the system. But it will take longer to extract. And if we were to do that, we're going to use half the amount of herbs and more vinegar to fill this jar. You want to use a glass jar too, no plastic. Plastic reacts, it leaches, it's, you know, so if you're a beginner or whatever, always use glass. And I hate to say, I used to try and save pickle jars and stuff to reuse. They just don't reuse very well. That pickle juice, wow, stays in that jar. I don't care how many times you wash it, dishwash it, hot steam, whatever. So clean jars are preferable for this, glass. So I kind of put equal parts of everything except the skull cap because this isn't particularly an anxiety formula, or I would have used more of this, but I used maybe 1 part of this, and the rest I filled up my jar with the marshmallow, the licorice, and the peppermint. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take vodka. You choose the vodka. If you're gonna use apple cider vinegar, you know, use what is available with the mother, okay? Because that is your organic apple cider vinegar, not just your over-the-counter that you use for other things that's in the big jug. You're gonna want the smaller jug. You can also use higher quality organic vodka. For the purpose of this, I do so many of these. I just buy a cheaper vodka. Like I said, a lot of that extracts, it just kind of evaporates off of the formula anyway, but it is meant to pull the frequency and all of the healing off of this plant matter into a formula. So I'm going to go ahead and, now that I have filled my jar, this is a 16-ounce jar. So now we're gonna just pour our vodka, and I mean, and this is why you don't want to fill it too high with herbs, because you need to make sure this is covered. I'm gonna stop there because the rest of what I'm going to cover it with is brandy, okay? Now, for a tincture like this or a tonic like this, probably a few drops in juice, water to take down before mealtime. But I think the brandy makes it taste a little better, like an aperitif. You know about aperitifs and after dinner drinks. In Europe, they have used that for centuries to help with digestion. And it is like an herbal formula in a brandy. And they just give you a little bit after dinner. It's not a big boozy thing. It's just a little bit to digest the food. But because we put all of this amazing stuff in here, now we're going to seal this up. Mind you, give it a good shake there. And this is going to be stored for 8 weeks. So 8 weeks along, see how dark that is? You're going to find that you're going to have a very dark formula at the end of it. Put it in a cool, dark place. I like to put mine in closets or cabinets or, closed off, dark and cool, and let it do its magic in there. And then when this one is done, and this one is almost done, you're just going to strain it. And if you have cheesecloth, I love that because it's a finer strain. But if you only have these, and sometimes you have to order cheesecloth. They used to sell at the grocery store. It's hard to find it now. Sometimes you can. You can also put a couple layers of paper towel in here to strain that through that, and then this strainer. And then once you've strained it into a bowl, you can put it in a tincture bottle. And so this is something that you can give your clients. This is 1 ounce right here. You can do bigger ounce bottles. Look how dark and beautiful that is though. And some things you put directly under the tongue, but because this is a digestive aid, this is better with like half a dropper or several drops within juice and water. Take that down before you start eating and ingesting other things, and it'll prepare your system, calm you down, and help the sludge in your system, the marshmallow and the licorice root, help with all that sludge and leaky gut stuff to kind of seal your digestive off, clean the sludge out, and let that food digest properly. I can't say enough about, make sure you drink good, clean water with meals and in between. And I think we know that by now, but sometimes we need a little extra. I like the skull cap in here because it's relaxing. And a lot of the gut health is due to stress. So when you relax the system, you relax the muscles, and you're relaxed, the rest of it does its job. Your own body starts to do its job. So this helps with gas and constipation. And I told you we were going to talk about some gross stuff, but it's a reality. You have a human body and it takes in things and it needs to remove things. And a lot of nasty stuff happens in between that shouldn't be happening. It should be very easy to eat food, digest food, and then eliminate. And because we're left in our lower root chakras so much and struggling so much, and the food and water, the quality of that is, this is where it's left us. So one of these things for your medicine cabinet and to help your community out if they need it. I want to give a shout out. I have a great friend. She's in the Pacific Northwest. And she is taking a place of leadership in her community. She's making great CBD formulas. She's trying to put stuff out there that is helpful to people and deliver it or ship it or whatever. She's adorable. I love her. I used to work with her. She worked at my store. I want to give you this information. So, to check out Amanda, and I love you, Amanda. Kiss, kiss, mwah, mwah, mwah. And thank you for taking a place of leadership and helping just people in your community. Very powerful. We don't need to make these grand gestures that we send our money out and our resources out to people that are going to buy expensive property for themselves. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. That's in the news. So, and I'm going to leave that there. But here is how you contact Mandy. Here's her business. Mandielions Apothecary. Mandielions, Mandielions Apothecary. Mandielions. And she is a lioness, even though she's my favorite Sagittarius and has that great Jupiter open heart. This is someone who really cares about people, and she's sincere in her work. And she always has been since she was a young lady, before she was a mother and had her own family and now her own business. Best way to contact her is through email, and she can ship to you. These are all lowercase, AWEGNER 8 at gmail.com. That is AWEGNER the number 8 at gmail.com. And she can do Facebook Messenger also. So check her out. She's doing all kinds of CBD formulas. When I tell you guys that you are a practitioner, you can make a difference in your own neighborhood. Her own neighborhood is ordering like crazy from her. They're like, I want to try that out. So don't think that you're not effective if you're not a big business or you're not connected to something grand on social media. That is simply not true. She told me what she was doing. I'm very interested in supporting her. You check her out too. So I hope this was helpful. Write to me if you have questions at athenas-body.com, also at athenasbody@gmail.com. I can answer any questions that you want. This, of course, we used vodka, some brandy to top it off, and we just filled our jar with skullcap, marshmallow leaf, licorice root, peppermint, and because I'm able to access these things, and maybe you can too, some papaya powder enzyme. This is going to be a beautiful formula. It's going to be jarred up for my client. She'll be able to just put some half dropper or some drops in with a little bit of juice and water and take that down. If she were to tell me this is for elderly on a lot of medication or a young child, we would use vinegar. It's going to take longer, but we can do it that way. And I hope you enjoyed this. Check me out. Take your place of leadership. Check out my card reading that I did on that. It's a medicine card reading on we need to take our place of leadership. And everyone thinks that could be daunting or I don't have power to do that. Well, Amanda just took her power to do that. So check her out. Check me out. I love you. And so I will see you soon. Bye.